Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I'm here today to have a chat about the changes that YouTube have recently made to the monetization process and how that affects Booktube. Now, just to start with, I know some of you may not have heard of this at all. For me, it's been something that has been all over my social medias because I follow a lot of content creators. But if you aren't so active on things like Twitter, you may not have picked up on what's been happening in the community at the moment. So basically, earlier today, YouTube rolled out some changes. Now, as far as I'm aware, there was no kind of communication of this prior to today. I'm not aware that anyone knew this was happening at all. But they have removed the ability for some smaller channels to monetize their content. So kind of what is monetization? Why does it matter? So YouTube affords people who have a certain, or they used to be a certain number of views and sort of engagement really on people's channel with the ability to do things like custom thumbnails, the ability to schedule your videos and the ability to put advertisements on your videos. So whether or not a video has ads is dependent on whether the creator wants to advertise on their video and get revenue from that, as far as I'm aware. And that is kind of how people make money on YouTube, is people watch the ads or click the ads and we get a small portion of that as people who can monetize content. Now, the changes that YouTube made have put the bar for being able to monetize your content way, way higher. So they've now done it on the amount of watch hours you have in a year. And it's 4,000 watch hours in a year, which is high. That's a lot of time that you're asking people to spend on one channel to be able to do any of those features. And Booktube as a community, just in terms of how this all links in, we're a pretty small subscriber base. So whilst the YA channels, some of the YA channels have hundreds of thousands, adult Booktube and the majority of YA Booktube as well have kind of sub to 10k subscribers. So a lot of these people are smaller channels. So in terms of YouTube itself, the giant platform it is, we're kind of the very small fish. Full disclosure, I have retained my ability to monetize my content, though one of the things I wanted to talk about is how arbitrary this decision really is. So a little bit about the background, because again, I've been looking into reading this as it's all happened. I appreciate not everyone has been. There was a big kind of debacle on YouTube a little while ago because a large channel, 5 million subscribers, who's called Logan Paul, don't go and add more stuff, but if you don't know what's going on, that's who it is, had uploaded a video which had some content which wasn't suitable for YouTube. It was mocking suicide. It was a horrible, horrible video. It was eventually taken down, but for a while YouTube were even promoting it on their trending page and stuff, and it's all kind of come to the forefront that really they don't really know what they're doing in terms of determining if videos are suitable to be on YouTube and suitable for advertisers. A lot of content creators have been saying for a while, and me included, especially the people I know who are the smaller side of channels. I've not really seen so much of the bigger channels are saying YouTube are just randomly demonetizing my content without informing you or telling you. They're just turning it off and you have to then review it. But they also have limits on when they will actually check whether or not whether you get a manual review or not. So you have to reach a certain view count on a video to get a manual review. So the smallest of small channels who are getting these monetization things on their content can't ever get them off. So they've essentially been demonetizing small channels for a while now, and everyone's been getting very annoyed. But so YouTube's kind of lost control of this, and I think what they're trying to do is say, okay, well, we're just going to monetize and worry about the ads on the larger channels so that we have the ability to review more of those videos that are monetized. I personally think this is all a move from probably a tiff they've had in terms of their advertising contract. because if YouTube can't give assurance to the ads they aren't going to be advertising on unsuitable content, they will lose their ability to advertise with YouTube, and YouTube will lose a lot of money. So I can understand why they're doing it, but the effect is it's cutting a lot of people out of the community. Now, I don't think that people who make booktube videos are doing it for the money. Even like, I have like a medium-sized booktube channel. I'm not like rolling in money. It's really a small amount you get, and to be honest it doesn't even cover the cost of like running the channel. Like, I'm speaking to you now on a camera that costs like £600, and I've got lights that were like another £100 on now, and that's just like a basic setup. Like, most people who have medium-sized channels will have some kind of camera and some kind of lighting system, because that's kind of what's required, like in terms of to keep your channel going and keep people interested. So, you know, like up front that's like £700. Like, I've never made that back, do you know what I mean? Like, so that's the kind of number, like money-wise, we're talking about. Now, I don't think people are here for the money. But what the money does, what monetization does, beyond the features, which are really important and help you build your channel, like custom thumbnails and scheduling, which is like a lifesaver. I didn't know that I could do booktube anymore if I couldn't do scheduling. What it does is it gives you a sense of, I guess it gives you something that makes you feel as though you're being valued. And for a lot of content creators, like, you were talking like maybe the whole of their channel they've made like less than $10, okay? So it doesn't have to be like masses of money, but it's saying like what you're doing, all of these hours and hours of your time, all of the consideration you put, the scripting you do, all of this means something. And unfortunately in our society that's the way that we respect things, as we give things money. But I found like the difference in my own life when I monetized my content and could talk about it with people who weren't sort of, you know, part of YouTube as a whole. Being able to say I do YouTube and they're going, oh that's interesting, and saying, oh I make a little bit of money out of it, people then actually think you're doing something. And it's a shame, and I don't think that anyone who has been demonetized or anyone who has never been monetized makes content that is any less intrinsically valuable than someone who is. But it does give you a bit more respect when you're talking about it, and I think that's something that would have been really sad to lose. The other thing that is really worth saying about the way in which they've determined these boundaries is that the longer the videos you make, the more likely you are to be able to monetize. And do you know what, actually the YouTube model doesn't really work on long videos. Like, this is going to be a longish video because I'm ranting, I have a lot to say. But the majority of viewers want to watch short and concise videos. And because it's determined on watch hours, you need to make a lot more videos if you're going to make the kind of videos that actually appeal to people. It's putting like way more of a burden, especially on these small channels. Like, I remember, it's not like it's years and years ago, do you know what I mean? Like, I started the channel like 3 years ago, and I remember like thinking like no one's ever going to watch this and no one's ever going to do this and I'm never going to be able to do anything. And I remember being so excited when I first got like YouTube partner status and getting a sense that I'd done something. And when this all came through, I was like, because you know, there was no warning and communication, and you don't know as a channel whether or not you're going to get demonetized. I was like checking my emails like, when is it going to happen? When am I going to be told that no one gives a shit? And I know that loads of my friends and loads of other brilliant booktubers are doing that, are feeling that today, like no one gives a shit what I do. And that completely sucks. I've spoken on the channel before about how I think like the future of booktube and like this community and keeping it interesting and like running, going, being a brilliant place to be is about having lots of difference in terms of the content we see. And just like any industry, like publishing, we all know about publishing, like the money does exclude people. Not paying people for their work excludes people. You're going to end up with people who are like me, who are more wealthy and more able to do things like the lights in the camera, which, let's be honest, have no impact on how good my content is, but they will draw more people in, and that's just so unfair. It really is, it's so unfair, and I kind of feel like a little bit like guilty in myself that I don't feel like I've done anything that's better than anyone else, or I don't think I've earned anything in terms of keeping my monetization when other people haven't. I feel like it's completely arbitrary. There are even like big channels, like big Booktube channels, like I think Kitty G's been demonetized and she has like 10,000 subscribers. So like even like large Booktube channels for our community, doesn't matter. YouTube is just arbitrarily saying this person doesn't matter, this person doesn't matter, and it really sucks. Like, I think in a nutshell it does really suck. We're gonna get lots of content that's going to be the similar kind of stuff, and people know it gets clicks. People are going to be less likely to put videos out there that are different, that might not necessarily be search terms. Just like as my own personal example, because of the fact that I've been calling my book hauls around the world book haul XYZ, I get about half the views as I would as if I called it January, February, etc. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me. But if you're trying to build your channel up, you might think, well, I've got to do XYZ, and we know that that is what kills Booktube. That's what makes people want to leave, and that's what makes people feel trapped and rubbish, and everyone has said that so many times. It's so frustrating. There's lots of things that we can try and do. Some people on Twitter have been trying to help people who are close to meeting the boundaries go over those. So whether they don't have enough subscribers or enough view hours, they're trying to put together like I don't know, like follow trains almost, to try and boost their numbers so they can get monetization status back. I appreciate that as a sentiment, and I can completely understand why people want to do that, but I don't necessarily think that helps, because whilst it might help those individual channels, new creators are going to be in exactly the same situation. And I wonder whether or not it is time for people who are on Booktube to consider doing things like Patreon as a more standard way of supplementing like your income, and also like just respecting the time that we put in to do these things. Like, I would say a video takes like 6 hours probably, like a video that you have to think about. This is just a rant, but like 6 hours of my life. And let's be honest, I only have like 2 days off a week. Like, that's a lot of time, and I know lots of other people put way more time into it than that. Scribbles Reads is someone who actually doesn't monetize her content, and she puts so much time into her content, and I'm kind of just like, I just respect like the effort that goes in, and it's sad that YouTube doesn't. It's sad that YouTube would say, do you know what, we can't trust our big stars of YouTube to behave in a sensible and rational manner, so we're going to exclude those at the bottom of the channel who, at the bottom of the media, who make YouTube so great. The good thing about YouTube always was you start in your bedroom with a webcam and you can go and you can do more, and they're just removing that equality of opportunity entirely from the platform, in my opinion. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the recent change. I hadn't planned on filming this at all, and I might actually film another video after this, we'll see. I planned on filming my first around the world like wrap up, but this all just happened today, and it's all I've been able to like think about this evening, and I just really wanted to have a chat. It's been a while since I've done like a discussion. So yeah, and I know as well, I get that a lot of the bigger content creators haven't said much, like those who've retained their monetization haven't necessarily said much, because I think there is a feeling of like, I didn't do anything special to deserve this, and I just kind of want to be there saying to the smaller content creators that it sucks and I'm really sorry and you didn't do anything wrong. And it's an arbitrary value judgment that's been made by YouTube, and it doesn't indicate how good your content is. Please keep making videos, please keep chatting and talking and doing stuff. And yeah, just, if there's anything we can kind of try and do as a community to make it easier for you guys, especially if you're thinking like, if I can't have the income I get, I can't afford to like access the books to do Booktube, like talk to us and try and see what we can do as a community. But yeah, I will chat to you guys soon in another video. Depressing times, sad day for YouTube people, but yeah, I'll see you guys soon, and look after yourselves until then. Bye.